And when Jared was here, what was your relationship with him?
We had a good relationship. It was cool. Obviously, proud of what he's been accomplishing. Reach out to him and, tell him I'm proud of him. So I feel like we got a good relationship.
When did you tell him you have reached out to him and said
Yeah, I
that?
reached out to him.
When, like during?
Was it Tuesday? This Tuesday? Yeah.
What was his response in terms of looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, or?
No, I just that's funny. No, I just told him I was proud of him. Obviously what they've been accomplishing and what he's been doing. Said I see him Sunday night. He said, "Appreciate you, brother. I see you Sunday night. It's gonna be fun." So.
No, having practiced against him and seen him played with him so much, what do you feel like you know all of his strengths and weaknesses and how to exploit him?
No, obviously he grew as a player, so you know some things he did good, some things that make him feel uncomfortable you could take advantage of, but obviously he grew as a player. Obviously he probably the X's and O's he probably know even much more than what he did when he was here. So he's a great football player. So we know he's not the most mobile guy, but when he got a clean pocket and he's able to make all the right throws, he can do that. So we just got to do a great job of finding ways to put pressure on him, make him uncomfortable, and hopefully we get to him. So.
Was there any joking in your message with him? Like, did you say, "I'm coming for you" or anything like that?
No, not that. I was really just texting him because I'm proud of what he accomplished, man. Obviously, he was here, helped us do some great things, and then, to go to Detroit, help build that back to where they at in the day, and all the success they've been having definitely this season. Just proud of them. Just wanted to let them know that. And that was about it. So.
Aaron, what's your scouting report on that offensive line?
I think they're a good group. I think they play good together. Solid run game. Got two great backs. Obviously, Goff able to do a lot off that because of the running game with the play actions and things they do, and they do a good job of protecting them. But obviously, you study ways to trying to defeat them and trying to find the flaws in the offensive line, and hopefully you get the one-on-one opportunities when you can do that. So they got a good group, but I like the challenge, and I feel like we got a great group too. So it's going to be a good game. So.
Would you say that this is the best offensive line you may be going against this year?
I'm not sure. They're just a good group. I feel like we played some good offensive lines this year. They had some good overall groups that played well together. So I won't know until I play with them. I play against them, I should say. So.
As you said, he won a lot of big games here, but you say he's grown. How have you seen him grow when you look at the tape?
Just his obviously his leadership role. You could tell how he controlled the huddle, how he controlled the guys, communication things. You can see him pointing out certain things. So you see that on film that just pop out and you can show, and it just shows. So.
Is there a game that he played when he was here that stands out in your mind as, wow, he was really, really good that night?
The Chiefs game, that's the first game that popped in my head. So it was a fun game, a lot of back and forth, and I think he made some big throws, some big plays for us to help us win that game. So.
A lot of first and second year players on this team getting their first taste of the postseason. How have you seen them approach this week of work?
Just like any other week. So obviously the urgency is a lot different. It's playoff ball. It's definitely going to be different out there, but I feel like we got enough veteran guys that play some meaningful football at this point that can help, with anything we need with the young guys. But they just playing comfortable, confident. I don't think nothing changed. I think that's a big thing we wanted to, Sean mentioned this week. Is just we're going to do the same things we've been don't trying to change nothing, don't make it bigger than what it is. Just let these guys just go out there, work, and we're going to go play a game. So.
Detroit has such a balanced offense. Is there, this week in practice, has there been more of an emphasis on situational football?
Yeah, obviously you communicate everything, what we're expecting, certain things, looks we might get, and and just practice that and get ready for that, prepare for it. So.
We remember in 21 as the postseason began, the last time you guys were in the postseason, the players who'd been there before, who'd done it before, were finding small ways and large ways to motivate the players who hadn't been on a run like that. Obviously, there's a lot of young guys who this is their first time seeing what you guys have set up in there in that locker room.
Yeah.
What are other ways that yourself, other players on this roster who have been in this position before are motivating teammates?
Well, my message to the defense yesterday was just we playing for something, right? It's win or go home. You got to play every snap like it's your last, man. But I don't want to put too much pressure on to make it because we've been playing some good football. I feel like since the bye, it been playoff ball for us. We couldn't afford to really lose too many games. So every week, every approach was, it's playoff ball, play it like it's your last game, and I think guys been doing that. So you let them know, they know what's on stakes and what type of game this is, the urgency is, but overall, football is football. You go out there and play. I think we got a bunch of young guys that grew fast and helped us to get to this point that's playing great football. You just want them guys to continue to do what they've been doing and just go out there and play ball. So that's what it comes down to. So.
And Johnson said today, their offensive coordinator said today that you guys present the best defensive tackle tandem that they will have faced all year. When another team, when another coordinator understands that, what your strength is, how difficult is it for you guys to scheme and get one-on-ones and get favorable matchups?
Well, for me, I get the double and triple teams anyway, so it ain't like nothing different. So, obviously trying to find ways to get freed up, different looks, different schemes that we can put into the defense to help us get them 5-0 protections and the one-on-ones opportunities. So, on up, and for me, it's nothing new. Just preparing and trying to find ways to get free and make my plays. So,
How were you feeling physically? And did you benefit by not playing last week?
I feel great. I feel healthy. I feel strong. I'm anxious to get back on the field, play some ball. So, I feel really good. So, no aches, no pains. Shoulders is good, knees are good, hips is good. So I'm ready to go. I feel great. I really do feel really good. So.
You had a sack in that Giants game where you were only single-teamed. Does that surprise you when you don't get doubled?
No, you just listen to the protections and then just like, this is my opportunity to get this op. So obviously, like I said, we give different looks and do different things to the point where on certain calls that I kind of, anticipate that I'm going to get the one-on-one, and I just got to win it. So I don't got too many of them, but when you get them, you just got to take advantage of them. So
After a full season, does it almost feel like this young defense is not a young defense now? They've had so many reps.
100%. This is, in my opinion, one of the best young groups that I've been around to see, from offense to defense. All these guys, they grew so fast. I always say from what I've seen in camp, the growth to the first game to where we at now, it's night and day. And I think they grew fast. That's the maturity of them. Them putting in the body of work to had the success they did, the production they had on the field to get us to this point. So. Obviously, it's a young group, but it's a veteran group too, because I think they played a lot of football and a lot of meaningful football to get us to this point because of these guys. So I think we just got a great team right now. So.
Jordan, last one.
Oh, I'm good. He answered it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, Artis. Artis trying to wave you down.
Mike, the numbers obviously illustrate part of the picture with Matthew's impact, but beyond that, what do you feel best illustrates the impact he's had on this team to get to this point?
Just the confidence that he instills in everyone in the building, starting with the players, but equally to the coaches. When nine is dressed, everyone that's a Ram, knows that you have a shot in the fight. So he's obviously a tremendous player, but he's just his aura and everything about him. He's just, and again, it's not any extra pressure on him. It's just him being him, So if he continues to do that, everyone's going to feel pretty dang confident.
You guys are practicing on your silent cadence and walkthroughs on silent cadence this week. Sean mentioned that too. What are some other things to hone that nonverbal communication ahead of this environment this weekend?
Yeah, no, you're cold too. You got the hat on. It's freezing out there. Lucky to be go back in a nice dome this Sunday. But no, I mean, it's, there's no secret. It's going to be loud, and you got to work that stuff. And again, luckily we have a quarterback that, has been there and done that in terms of being in these loud environments, these playoff environments, and understanding, all that entails with that, So they're not, there's no stone going unturned, I mean, they're going to do whatever they can in terms of getting that communication, the nonverbal from obviously, the O-line, but the receivers included with that. So, working hard at that.
One of the things you've spoken about, Matthew, is his preparation and X's and O's and film study. But you can't prepare for the emotion of going back. Do you discuss that with him?
Not really, It'd be lying to say, he's human, right? He is, and I know he does some things with with his arm and the ball that doesn't look human, but he is human, and he's going to have some, those feelings, and he should have those feelings, But that's what makes him so great too. Is when that ball snapped, there's no doubt in my mind, and I would say that it's going to be a better question for him. But when that ball snapped, it's going to be ball again, And it's cool for him to have those emotions right now if he does have them. But we haven't had that discussion, and I'm sure some people in the building have. I won't get into that because I haven't had it with him. I'm sure at some point we'll have some sort of brief discussion about it, and then we'll move on with our lives, So. He's excited. He should. He's earned this opportunity to go lead this Rams into a playoff game. It happens to be a place that he's familiar with, and I know all the guys are going to be excited for it.
Mike, what have you seen out of Detroit's red zone defense, and rather apparent, but how important is it to execute within the 20s?
Yeah, I mean, it's week 1 to week 17 to the playoffs. When you get in the red zone, you got to score touchdowns. You can't kick field goals. Just getting started with the red zone, just in terms of our process. So I'm not going to speak too deeply into it right now. But as always, it's always hard against any team in the NFL once you get inside the 20 to go score. But you get into the playoffs, you got to put it away, and you got to get 6.
Have you seen any vulnerabilities out of their red zone defense?
Not going to get into that too far, in terms of just from a schematic standpoint, but it'll always, it more so than anything, not even scheme. I think if there's any part of the field that it matters more about what you do rather than what they do, it's there, because you can go across the board from the best team statistically in the red zone to the worst. A lot of things don't happen the way that we draw it up. I mean, the field is condensed, and players go make plays in that area, whether it's from a blocking or a running back making a guy miss and a quarterback and a receiver being on the same page. You'd love to say from a coaching perspective it's going to work out this way. It doesn't most of the time. I don't care who you are. It just doesn't.
They really struggled to get pressure on the quarterback other than Aiden Hutchinson. They've had to manufacture pressure with blitzing a lot lately. What kind of an opportunity is that for Stafford in the offense?
Yeah, I mean, there's that's what Aaron's done such a good job over there in Detroit of mixing and matching that. He's not afraid to throw a lot of different stuff at you, whether there be a 4-man rush with different coverages. Obviously, it's no secret they love to play man coverage. That's how Aaron's always been going against them, for a lot of years. So obviously, when you bring 5. It's tougher to protect, and there's one less guy out there in coverage. And so, again, it just goes back down to us executing. Matthew seeing that, our line, our backs, our tight ends when applicable, protecting, and, guys going and execute, being from point A to point B as fast as humanly possible.
They've been a little bit more opportunistic lately. Ryan Branch has had a really good rookie year. Who stands out as the guys that you kind of have to wonder about in the middle of the field?
There, it's funny because they got a lot of guys, and they really do. Some from injury, but when you're at this point where you have a 17-game sample size, and to say that we've gone back to week 1, we have in some aspects, because you got to get some inventory, but they've Rolodexed a lot of guys in there, from again an injury standpoint, but also just giving guys some opportunities. And Branch is definitely one that stands out. I think he's done a great job at the nickel position. So they got a lot of guys that can make plays back there.
The NFL coaching carousel kind of starting to turn a bit. Have you or the Rams gotten any feelers regarding interest?
Nope. Excited for Sunday.
I assume the Mount Pleasant blood is thinned a little bit if you're wearing that.
That's true. Yeah, I was told that there's going to be some snow when we land, and I'm not a big snow guy anymore. So if I don't see it again, I'd be happy.
Did you grow up a Lions fan at all, or going to any games?
Yeah, I mean, it's being from Michigan. Obviously, that's the team there. My dad being a college coach, through the obviously 70s, 80s, 90s. And Michigan's a big college football. Obviously, they had a pretty big week on Monday, pretty big week for the whole state of Michigan, obviously, with this game coming into town. But I was more of a college fan growing up, but, Barry and those guys, I mean, you couldn't help just obviously watch them and respect them. But I didn't know any other team besides Central Michigan.
Did you see them at Ford Field, or did you go to Silverdome?
I'd been to the Silverdome. Not for a game. I actually never had been to a Detroit Lions game growing up. It was always for the Michigan High School State Championships at Silverdome, and then once Ford Field was built, then there at Ford Field.
Sean mentioned Sunday after the game he was pretty stoked at how you handled the call and with Carson and the wristband and all those things. Being there in that environment, you're very familiar with that environment, and what was that like for you to take on such a lead role with getting Carson ready to go, and then executing in the way that you guys did? Obviously, Matthew's back now, but
Sure.
Putting in a different type of plan for Carson than we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, that's our job as coaches, all of us, to figure out, hey, what guys are playing. Obviously, it was a unique circumstance and in a good way for both teams, right? And but it was as I said last week, it was going to be really cool to get some guys that deserve opportunities to actually get their opportunity. Not just Carson, but TJ and Ben Skronik playing a lot more at receiver and stuff like that. Tutu getting back out there, and some of the guys up front, some of the guys on defense. For me personally, it was just really cool to watch Carson and lead that squad, and I thought he just did a tremendous job, just orchestrating and having such command. It showed not that we were by any means worried about it, but it showed in Wednesday starting in walkthrough how much command he had. So it was. I was really happy for him. I was really happy for those guys. I was really happy for the team that they were able to pull it out.
Can you talk about the importance of what is now almost an elite running game that you guys possess in this type of environment, in a playoff, electrified atmosphere, in a dome that's going to be crazy? Can you just kind of reflect on that a little bit?
You always want your line to be able to set their pads, and that's what kind of gets those guys into a game all across the board. Quarterback too, sometimes turn around and hand that thing off can be your best friend, right? As good as number 9 is, and as good as some of the weapons he has around him, that can be your best friend when you're on the road in the playoffs. And we'll see where this game takes us. You never know, and you got a plan, but plans change based on what the defense is presenting at you and kind of what's going on. They've done a great job, not just recently, but all year, and that shows statistically against the run, So we got our hands full up there, from up front. But again, in the run game, it takes all 11, our receivers, the way that these DBs fit, the way that these DBs tackle and safeties, So our guys, they got their hands full, but I know they'll be ready.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, guys.